Okay, guys, we're back. I know it's been a while since we're here at the round table, and last time surprisingly, I know, was the time where I was ranting about how horrible Promised Neverland Season 2 was when we were here at this conference about me bitching about anime. And today, actually, this rant is about how fucking amazing Mushoku Tensei is because it is so good. And I watched the last two episodes because I knew, I knew from reading the manga and the light novel that these ones are going to slap. And I was not disappointed. But before I get into that, I know that a ton of people here only watch my videos. So if you are here watching my Mushoku Tensei video, which is weird because I've never talked about it before, and most of you don't know that I even watch it, probably. Unless you watch my streams or something. I don't know. But yeah, thank you for watching this, I guess. And if you want more round table stuff of me just talking about a show during the season, let me know. I usually only make these type of videos if something really impactful happens. Like last time, Promised Neverland had a fucking slideshow at the ending of the show. It was disgusting. Never remind me of that again. I'm never speaking of it. It is awful. I hated it. But this video is not about Promised Neverland Season 2, the garbage dump fire pile it was. It's actually about a little show called Mushoku Tensei. Now, Mushoku Tensei is a very special isekai anime. It's like the godfather, the grandfather of all modern isekai, and it really shows. Oh my god, it shows. When watching this past season, well, the second half of the season, you can really feel the amount of passion the animators and just the studio has in general for this show. It is incredible. It is incredible how much depth for the scenes and the world building we get in this amount of episodes. Like, this is some One Piece level world building in multiple episodes less. It is impressive how they use their intros properly in their endings in order to maximize and squeeze out as much content for us as possible. And I love it. So the first thing I want to talk about is the big elephant in the room, which is Paul and Rudeus' moments during the last two episodes, 17 and 16. And I'm sure you guys have watched like Chibi reviews and like at Echidna and all of them, and you've heard about how amazing it was, and it was great. It was an amazing episode. You guys have already known about that. And something I just want to say is a lot of people have been talking about specifically this scene and who was in the right and who was in the wrong. But for me, the feeling I get from watching this scene for the first time animated, oh my god, it was gut-wrenching. I've never really felt like anxiety for someone else in an anime, but I felt like because we know Rudeus so much, like we know his character from the very beginning, and we feel very connected to this story. Oh my god, the anxiety I felt watching Paul like talking about him as he then comes to the realization that everyone else was teleported. I didn't even think about it. And I was swept up in the adventure on the demon continent just as much as Rudeus and Eris and Dit to End the team was. Oh my gosh, it was just such a great episode. Easily one of the best of this season, if not the year, with how much emotional depth they actually were able to put in. I still think the manga was slightly better in terms of how they handled like the inner monologue and making them both look in the wrong. Because Rudeus in the anime looks a lot more like a bad guy in the scene. Because it looks like he just starts punching Paul for hitting him back, and they just get into a fight. But in the manga, there's some like inner monologue that he has where he doesn't want to do this. He's confused and he feels like defensive because of what his dad is doing. And wow, it is the most realistic anime argument that hasn't been dragged out for like an entire season I've ever seen. They fight. Rudeus wins in close combat, which just shoves the salt in the wound for Paul, who's a close combat specialist. And then the next episode, after we've had to wait a week and just let this simmer and let this like feeling, this bad feeling, Rudeus really nailed it. That scene after when he goes back and he just feels sick and he thinks, oh, well, I guess Dad will probably forget. And he just starts throwing up after thinking about the face that his sister made of him, who he hasn't seen in like 4 years. Good stuff. So amazing, real good stuff in Mushoku Tensei. But you guys have heard this all before. It's a great show. Anyone who says otherwise has only said that they either hate the main character or like his inner monologue and that they love the rest of the show. That's how amazing this show is. It is incredible. And the next episode after is just even better. It replaces this feeling of anxiety that really hits you with this feeling of calm. Like, oh, thank God. Like when Rudeus is like the adult and Paul is the adult and Paul apologizes to Rudy, you can really feel the emotion behind it and the voice actor. Oh my God. I've said that so many times in this recording, but that is what I was really thinking. Wow. Wow. The tears. They felt so real. It was like an actual big argument, and he almost like lost his sons forever. He could have cut ties and never seen him again. That was how intense this moment was. It was crazy. And it is easily going to go down as two of the best consecutive episodes I've ever seen. The amount of emotional tension here is almost to the same degree for me as what happened with Gon and Pito in Hunter x Hunter, which is a really odd comparison for some of you might be thinking. But the way that Gon reacted, which I've talked about in other videos before, really is similar to how Rudeus feels when Rudeus is getting attacked for not having looked for his family or looked for anyone after the Great Mana disaster. Yeah, it's got a lot of really good writing, because if you're being compared to Hunter x Hunter, which is one of the like crowning shows, then, you know, I think you're pretty good. So for those of who haven't watched Mushoku Tensei yet, or have been watching the videos but don't believe them, they're just like, oh, they're just reading because they like the manga. As someone who's read the manga, some of the light novels, and now has watched the anime, it's really good. Just give it a chance. The whole thing about this is that Rudeus isn't supposed to be some overpowered, perfect guy from the start. It's a character arc, much like my Subaru video I made a couple of weeks ago called The Weak Protagonist, which unfortunately got taken down. Thanks, copyright. But it's a lot like that, because Rudeus isn't perfect, and he's really human and makes these mistakes. And the show covers his growth into becoming an adult and a person. And it's just all around amazing. So I'm definitely going to be continuing to watch Mushoku Tensei. I hope they make another season as soon as possible. I hope they announce it by the end of this second half, because I just want to see the story keep going. Anyway, if you guys watched all the way to the end, thank you so much. You might as well just subscribe and like this video so you can see more rants from me. And I have What If Naruto Was in Gurren Lagann coming out tomorrow. So I hope you guys are excited to see that. And yeah, have a good night, everyone. Go watch Mushoku Tensei!